working very hard.
Honorable Congress President, Prime Minister, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh Ji, members of the CWC, members of the AICC, DCC presidents, colleagues and friends, और हमारे जो प्यारे कार्यकर्ता सब यहाँ दूर दूर से आए हैं, आपका बहुत बहुत यहाँ स्वागत। थोड़ा मैं पहले अंग्रेजी में बोलूँगा और अंत में हिंदी में बोलूँगा। बिल्कुल, आप पीछे भी बैठे, देखा नहीं था आपको। It is an honor for me to speak to you. It is always an honor for me to speak to the soldiers of this great party, all of you. Last year at a similar gathering of colleagues and friends, I spoke about the optimism and the energy that has built this great nation. The same energy that is unleashing an unstoppable democratic upsurge in our country today. For the last 10 years, we've had the privilege of Manmohan Singh Ji's leadership. This unbroken decade of stability has created vast new economic opportunities for our youth and has brought about massive social and political change. I would like to thank the Prime Minister for the job that he has done for this country. नहीं भैया, थोड़ा जोर से करिए। बिल्कुल। और सोनिया जी के लिए भी सोनिया जी ने भी पिछले 10 साल और हमारे जो सब सीनियर नेता हैं उनके लिए भी आप हमारी शक्ति हो। It is clear to us that we, the Congress Party, has made this democratic upsurge possible. We have served this country by enhancing and deepening the foundations of our democracy. Let's look at the big steps that we took to increase your power, the power of the people of this country. The single biggest step that we took, the single biggest attack on the system is called the right to information, RTI. We restored information. Everybody says it in the world, information is power. Well, through the RTI, we gave power to the people of this country. We gave them information that was locked up in government offices. We gave you the power. And let me say something else, which is very important. Nobody pressurized us to do the RTI. Nobody told us to do the RTI. The Congress Party got up and said, the country needs the right to information. Every single person in this country needs to know what is going on in his government. And we gave you that. And we also knew another thing. We knew that this revolutionary law would place our own government and our allies under severe scrutiny. But we still did the RTI. We have also created the right to identity, Aadhaar, so that money reaches you, the people of this country, directly. This is not a small thing. Rajiv Gandhi ji used to speak about 15 paisa. We are the first government that has actually taken action on it and is saying this money belongs to you. We are going to put it into your bank account. It is the largest anti-corruption platform that anybody in the world has built.
It will enable people to get their benefits and their entitlements without having to pay a bribe. Secondly, we constructed and reinforced the third pillar of government, Panchayati Raj. I don't see Mani Shankar Iyer ji here. Where is he? There. And a gentleman who fights for this every day of his life. And who, yeah, I'd like you to applaud him as well. This was Rajiv Gandhi ji's dream, that let us give true power to the people of this country. And this has allowed millions of you to have access to our political system and has exponentially increased democracy in this country. What is Narega? What is the right to food? If it is not handing power to the people of India, if it is not handing power to the poor of India. Decisions that were once in the hands of a few people, 3-4 people, government officials, are today in the hands of all our people. Nobody can refuse a poor man when he goes and asks for a job. Nobody can refuse a poor man when he goes and asks for the right to food. Nobody can ask any Indian, nobody can stop any Indian if he asks a question of his government. This is what the Congress party and the UPA has done over the last 10 years. And the third step, and a massive step. And I saw Sam Pitroda ji here some time ago. I don't see him now. Kahan hai Sam Pitroda ji? Who was critical in this step. The third step is technology, the bedrock of which was set up by the Congress party. So we did this, huge steps, and every single one of them, look at every action that the Congress party takes and has ever taken, from independence, from before independence, and tell me one step that is not about giving people power. Tell me one step, whether it is the bank nationalization, whether it is telecom revolution, whether it's the rights paradigm, whether it is the fight against the British. Tell me one step we have taken that is not to help the people of this country and not to give them power. Tell me one. I want to hear it. I don't hear it. What the Congress party has enabled over the last 10 years is an unmatched transfer of power to the people of this country. Now let me tell you something else. The answer to every single problem this country has, is to push this democratization further, to make this democratization reach further and further into the heart of our country. That is where the answer lies. There are MPs here among us, and I can see the faces. Some of them young, some of them not so young. There are MLAs here. All of you are young at heart. So some are young in age and some are young in heart. There are MPs and MLAs here among us. Your job is lawmaking. You're lawmakers. You make the laws of this country. It's a great responsibility, a huge responsibility. Now, while the work you do on the ground is very important, we need to bring your voice back into lawmaking. Today, the MP and MLA's voice is not there in lawmaking. Today, laws are being made by the media. Laws are being made by judges. Laws are being made in the streets of this country. And the people who've been elected to make those laws are being sidelined. We have to bring you back in. We have to bring you back into lawmaking in Parliament. We have to bring you back into lawmaking in the legislative assemblies. And we have to bring the Pradhan back into helping the village move forward. It is you, do not forget this. And I'm speaking here to the MPs, the MLAs, and the Pradhans. It is you who truly represent the people of India. You have been elected by the people of India. And I want to ask you a question. What power do you have in today's system? We need to bring the voice of elected local self-government representatives into the governments. Democracy is not ruled by dictate. See, we've struggled for this for the last 100 years. Democracy is not ruled by one man. Democracy is ruled through the empowered, elected representatives, through you. We have to empower all of you and bring you back into lawmaking so that the voice of the MP is heard in Parliament. There I see Dipinder nodding his head. Because we sit in Parliament and we talk about this. We talk about the fact that MPs do not truly make laws. So we need to bring the voice of the MP back into Parliament. We need to bring the voice of the MLA back into the legislature. And we need to bring the voice of the Pradhan in the village. But whose voice do we have to listen to most? And this voice is even more important than the MPs and the MLAs and the senior leaders. That voice is your voice, the voice of the Congress worker, the person who gives us his blood and his sweat every single day of the year. Common people should be able to enter politics with ease. Common people should be able to walk into the political system, but today they cannot. We need to change that. We need to make sure that they can come in with ease. Today we live in a world where packaging and selling politics seems to replace the essence of real issues and real people. But let's be honest with each other. This is not just another turn in the history of India. This is not just another election to be fought and won or lost. This is a turning point in our nation's journey. Nobody is in the mood to accept less than their full and complete right. No one is willing to compromise anymore. They want individual choice. They want participation. They want a fair deal. And frankly, they deserve it. This is the reality. Either we wake up to their aspirations, or we have no business to claim that we represent them. The change that is taking place around us is unstoppable. The imperative before us is not whether to change, but when and how to change. What does this mean for us as a political party? It means responding to the immense demand for political and governmental reform in the revolutionary and dynamic way that only the Congress party is capable of doing. It means that unlike others, we do not respond by complaining about all that is wrong without articulating clearly what is going to be done about it. We do not respond by proposing oversimplified non-solutions. We do not respond by subverting democratic institutions and blocking parliament sessions year after year, day after day. We do not respond by turning people against one another. We do not respond by lighting the fires of communal hatred. No, we do not respond by proposing either that the structures of democracy be handed over to one man or that they be viciously destroyed. The Congress party responds through peaceful, democratic, and constitutional means. We respond from the soul of the values that built this great nation. It is interesting to see that the response of the opposition to all this democracy is to go in the exact opposite direction. India and the Congress party are going there, and the opposition is going there. People demand honest and efficient government. We respond. People demand honest and efficient governance. We respond by getting the Lokpal Act passed. Everybody made a tamasha about it. Everybody spoke about it. Who passed it? Who passed it? The Congress party passed it. And we don't stop there. We did not stop there. We gave you the RTI. We gave you the Lokpal bill. And now we want to give you something else. We have 6 bills in Parliament. The opposition has stalled Parliament for year after year. We want to give this country those bills. These bills are going to transform the fight against corruption. And the Congress party should stand behind these bills and ensure that the opposition does not stall the passage of these bills in Parliament. If these bills are implemented in spirit, dishonesty will be punished. And honest officials and officers will be protected. People demand greater incomes and greater prosperity. We respond by enforcing a minimum wage and giving them the highest growth rate in the history of this country. It's easy to pretend that all this is just a matter of passing orders. It's easy to pretend that this doesn't take time. It takes time. It takes sustained commitment. Real change is structural. And for that, we need to work continuously through legislation, reform, and sustained political effort.